Hey everybody, my name's ATDon. I'm gonna be reacting to 10 things you should never buy.
If you're like most people, you don't want to waste your hard-earned cash on pointless things. But if you are like most people, then you probably are wasting your money without even realizing it. We've got your back, though, with this list of 10 things that you shouldn't buy. Stay tuned until the end for a few bonus things to avoid buying to save you money. Number 10. Single-purpose kitchen gadgets. There are so many things you can buy for your kitchen now that seem really cool and useful, but are actually a complete waste of money. For instance, a banana slicer. First of all, how often do you slice bananas that you need a gadget specifically for slicing bananas? Second of all, you can accomplish the same thing with a knife, which you probably already have several of. Some other practically useless gadgets that will only waste your money and valuable drawer space are garlic presses, butter spreaders, pizza cutting scissors, and battery-powered spaghetti twirling forks. Why buy any of those things when you could just use a knife and twirl your own spaghetti? Number 9. Canned baby food. There are so many reasons to not buy canned baby food. I don't even know where to start. First of all, store-bought canned baby food is about 3 times as expensive compared to making your own. Plus, the stuff tends to be filled with added sugars, salt, and preservatives that your baby just doesn't need. When you think about it, it's really not that hard to mash up your own fruits and vegetables to give to your baby. That way, you can rest assured that your baby is getting the highest quality of food possible, and your wallet won't be any lighter. Speaking of baby food, you could get a fancy baby food maker, or you can just use the blender that you already have. Number 8. Snack-size packages and pre-cut foods. While I'm talking about feeding small humans, let's take a quick look at those snack-size packages that every parent loves to buy in bulk to toss in their kids' school lunch. And let's be honest, you've taken a few of those with you to work, too. Even though they might save you some time, they're a huge waste of money. In fact, you're likely spending twice as much than if you bought the family-size bag and divided it up yourself into reusable containers. Pick up some cheap plastic containers from the dollar store and use those to make your own snack packs instead. In the same way, those pre-cut foods that you get at the supermarket are another way to waste your money on unhealthy foods. The problem with these pre-cut fruits and veggies is that you're paying for the time it took someone to cut them up for you. What makes them unhealthy is that after fresh food is cut, it starts losing nutrients, so by the time you buy it, it will have lost most of its health benefits anyway. Again, just buy things fresh and prepare them yourself. Does it really take that long to chop a celery stalk into a couple pieces that you're willing to pay double for someone else to do it? On top of all that, it's a waste of packaging and contributes to plastic pollution. Like, if only nature could find a way to cover these oranges so we didn't need to waste so much plastic on them. Number 7. Air fresheners.
I've been a chef for 40 years. I was known for American food.
I'm not near my desk.
Who doesn't want a great smelling home? After all, it sucks to live in somewhere that smells like BO. But buying commercial and chemical air fresheners comes at a price that smart people aren't willing to pay. Not only do air fresheners cost an arm and a leg up front, but you may eventually find yourself drowning in medical bills. You see, air fresheners contain chemicals called phthalates, which are known to cause reproductive problems, asthma, and even allergic reactions. Why take the risk when there are significantly cheaper and healthier options? Do this. Toss some fresh lemon slices in a pot of water and heat it on the stove for a while, and your whole house will smell lemony fresh without a single side effect. You can also capture foul odors by placing open boxes of baking soda around your house and replacing them every month. Simple, easy, and cheap. Number 6. Sonic bug repellents. Something other than foul odors that people want to banish from their house is pests. Whether it's ants, flies, cockroaches, or something bigger and furrier, pests can become a serious problem. So why not get them to leave with sonic bug repellents that emit high-pitched sounds that annoys pests into leaving? Because they don't work. So you'll just waste your money on buying them and then time waiting for them to work. Then you'll have to call an exterminator anyway, which is what you should have done in the first place. Also, here's a quick bonus tip. Once you've solved a pest problem, be sure to take steps to avoid another invasion, like closing up any holes that critters can use to gain access to your home. Before we go any further, here are 2 things that you definitely should not buy. Take a guess at how much this natural woodside table and sterling silver tin can will cost you. I'll reveal the prices at the end of the video, so drop your guess in the comments section down below right away. Now on to the rest of the list. Number 5. New cars. Here's something that keeps millions of people in debt every year, yet hardly anybody is talking about. When you buy a new car, it loses about 11% of its value as soon as you drive it off the lot. That means you will have lost thousands of dollars by the time you get home. Then, by the time you've had it for 3 years, you will likely owe more on the car than what it's worth at that point. Basically, it's just not worth it. Unless you're planning on keeping a car for at least 10 years, then buying new just doesn't make sense. Instead, buy a used car that's at least 3 to 5 years old, and you don't have to worry about losing that much money. Then, once you pay off your used car, keep putting the amount you would have been paying on it into a savings account. After a few short years, when it comes time to buy another car, then you'll have saved enough money to pay cash for it and won't have to make payments. If you keep paying into that new car fund every month, you'll always have the cash on hand when it comes time to replace your current vehicle. This sort of technique works for other things like watches too. If you ever want to buy a high-value timepiece, always buy from a reputable second-hand dealer so that you know you're buying the real thing and you'll save any money it would have lost from its initial purchase. You'll be left with a beautiful watch for a much cheaper price. Number 4. Keurig Coffee Maker. Although being able to simply pop in a K-Cup and have a hot cup of coffee brewed in minutes may seem like the ideal way to start your day, if you take a closer look at this machine, you'll see just how much money you're wasting on it. Not only is the machine itself 3 to 5 times as much as a regular coffee machine, but the disposable, single-use cups that you add to it are also several times more expensive than buying coffee by the pound. On top of that, those little cups aren't biodegradable, which means every time you enjoy a cup of coffee, you're contributing to the slow destruction of the environment. Just buy a regular coffee maker, or if you already have a Keurig, buy a reusable cup and use that. Speaking of overly priced drink machines, can we please talk about the Juicero? It was a $400 machine that squeezed bags of pre-cut fruits and vegetables into juice. Except that people were able to do the same thing in less time with their bare hands. It was the perfect way to waste money on a useless machine and bags of prepped veggies that you could just as easily buy fresh for less money and run through a regular juicer or even a blender, if you don't mind the pulp. Needless to say, the internet had a good laugh when the company went bust. Number 3. Extended warranties. If you've ever bought a new electronic, you've probably been offered an extended warranty. Hopefully you've turned it down. These are a complete waste of money because they only handle manufacturer's defects, which nearly always show up within the first couple of months of use. You know, when they're still covered by the manufacturer's warranty. So there's no need for an extended warranty. Instead of wasting your money, put that extra money towards buying a case that will protect your new device or save it for when you're ready to replace it in a few years. Number 2. Brand names. When it comes to brand names, there are some things that you will actually get a better deal on if you buy the brand name, particularly when it comes to clothing and electronics, because most brand names in these industries actually do have higher quality materials and products. However, when it comes to food and a number of other products, you're likely wasting your money on brand names. If you really want to save money, then do some experimenting and try some off-brand foods and items and try them out. You may be surprised when they're just as good as the brand names, yet you'll have some extra cash in your pocket. Number 1. Multivitamins. Multivitamins are a great way to have very expensive urine, and that's according to the president of the Australian Medical Association. The thing is, as long as you're eating the recommended daily servings of fruits and vegetables, then you're getting all the vitamins and trace minerals that you need from your food. So when you start popping multivitamins, your body doesn't use most of them, and a lot of it ends up getting flushed out of your system anyway. Stop wasting your money on multivitamins and just hit up the produce section instead and load up on plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables. If that sounds like too much work, then here's something else to consider. Most multivitamins contain synthetic versions of vitamins and minerals. Your body has a much harder time using these, which means even if you're not getting everything you need from your diet, your body still may not get the nutrients it needs from multivitamins because they don't work with your body. Now back to the bonus things that you shouldn't buy. Fashion batteries. Yep, you heard that right. Fashion batteries. These batteries may look fancy, but what's the point? When was the last time you saw batteries and thought, these are so ugly, I need to get some fancier batteries? Never? Yeah, neither have I. But obviously somebody thought that fashion batteries were a good idea. What about Connect One? Sure, it's a heck of a lot easier than its predecessor, Connect 4, but I also feel like it's bound to get pretty boring after a while. I suppose it could make a great gag gift, but even then it's a waste of money when you could be getting someone a game they can actually enjoy. Remember the tree stump side table and the fancy tin can? Have you guessed their prices yet? If you guessed that the natural wood tree stump was $349, you're correct. I'm not sure why anyone would pay that much money for a piece of firewood, but I guess the guy who came up with the idea thought it was brilliant, provided he's able to sell it at that price. I mean, sure, it's been cleaned up a bit, but it's barely even big enough to qualify as a table. Now the fancy tin can. Keep in mind while guessing that the outside is sterling silver and the inside is gold. Ready? Believe it or not, this simple looking tin can is $1,325. It's part of Tiffany & Company's Everyday Objects collection. This collection also includes a set of 10 Lego-like stacking bricks for $1,600, a walnut and silver ruler for $600, and a silver thread ball of yarn for $9,600. At least with the yarn you could knit yourself a silver sweater.